Hello, welcome to Facebook. It's Barbara Moreau here sharing some teachings. We have 8 different topics, so we'll be sharing them. I put it out there again to see what people wanted to learn, so we're going to share those teachings. And welcome everyone. So we'll just kind of yap a little bit until more people come on, and then we'll go from there. So we have 8 topics we're going to share. I kind of raised my laptop so it's a better angle. You can see my stuffs in the back. Yes, we have a massage table here. It helps, and we do healing sessions at our house. So we're always open to help people if they're willing. So the 8 topics that we're going to cover today is healing, clearing memory cells from trauma, cutting cords from negative people and or exes. I'm also going to add on to that what to do when you're going through it, because a lot of people don't understand the immense psychic and energy attacks that you go through with the lies and the gossiping and putting each other down behind the scenes. So that just needs to stop. Finding your purpose, deciphering messages without the confusion from your ego, and why your guides don't interpret or intercept when bad things come, and how to find yourself, and how is your body affected without healing, and basically stress management. And there was just a basic comment, but I think stress management is really good for everyone to find their what works for them. And once people understand how gossip works, it's so much easier to be aware of yourself, because that's where the corrections are made, is with yourself, and how to block it. That's what we're going to share. And we've shared it on previous videos, so it's really important to learn to maintain and be aware of yourself so that other people's energies don't come into you. Because when you're aware and you can sense things, and you can easily block it. So welcome to Facebook. Just kidding. We're going to start yapping now. Okay, so now I'm just going to start off with a quick prayer, and then we'll continue on. It's really important to block any negative energies or interferences. Dark energy does work through electronics. And hello, Margaret. I love you. And hello, everyone. I love all of you. And so it's important for to set that boundary up in place when you're doing any type of work. Like I will put the shamanic symbol over the screen. Like I'll do this before we start, and then put a block on so that only divine love, light, and energy is allowed in my sacred space. And then I'll push it in. And I also have a little mirror here, and it's going to deflect back anything negative trying to come through my laptop. I actually have a red tie or ribbon on my internet box, or where the Wi-Fi goes, and I also have a rock on there that blocks Wi-Fi energy so that it doesn't affect the house. And it's important to make sure that you have your place set up so you're protected. And my table moves, and I noticed that in the last video, so I'll try not to move it as much. I also have candles that I have on the side of each side of my laptop. One behind me, I don't know if you can see it, and some over there. So I make sure that the energy in the house is set. I make sure my boys are calm. I let them know to be quiet. And I tell them, you can watch me if you want. So for them too, it's willing. If they're willing, I don't force this on my kids. I do share psychology and basic teaching. I'm really proud because my youngest son asked me, he's like, Mom, that stuff you do on the massage table, he's like, can you teach me that? It's like, yes. So you got to wait for your kids to ask. And then you can start sharing. So it's amazing. I do share in the meantime, but I was really proud that he asked me. It's a big step. Oh, a Wi-Fi block, just so I don't get a rock. I don't know the name. I can't, well, I used to. This is the rock. I'm trying to see. It's like a flaky rock. I don't. If you guys know what this is? Can you put the name down so I can, but I know it's a flaky rock. I know it blocks Wi-Fi energy, and that's what I use. I'll just go put this back. I'll be right back. So, back to the prayer. So what we'll do is just do a quick prayer. You can add on to it if you'd like. So, remember how we connected the other day? You can connect anytime you want to do a prayer. The intention's already set when we said it the other day. And this helps connect your body and sets your energy to connect to the other side. Usually I do this, and when I get to 3 flushes, there we are, there's the 3rd one. Then I can start. Okay. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Grandmas, Grandfathers. Thank you, Mother Mary, Brother Jesus. Sacred animals and birds, guides, teachers, old ancient ones, ascended masters, and all the good spirits far and wide, in all time, dimension, and space. I ask for your help. I also ask for the protectors and warriors to come to and forgive me if I've forgotten anyone, but I'm asking for help from all the good spirits, spirits of divine love, light, energy, and who speak the absolute truth. I ask for your help and your blessing. I ask for your knowledge, your wisdom, your tools, your data. I ask for your help to come through me, to channel through me, to say the right words, to help guide people in a good way. I ask for protection, and if anyone is sending any negative thoughts, curses, bad luck, or intentions, to block it. If there's any negative energy or entities trying to influence or stop this live feed, I ask you to block it and to protect it and to hide it in sacred smoke and ashes. Thank you for your help. I love you. I honor you. I respect you, and I believe in you. All my relations. There we are. Cool. And then you get a flush, and then that's your guide saying, we're doing it. So thank you. Okay, so healing and clearing memory cells from trauma. So healing your memory cells from trauma can be done in several different ways. You can do it through trigger maintenance, walking the absolute truth, or by journaling, and all 3 if you would like. I did all 3. I do all 3. Actually, the trigger maintenance is something that I do on a daily basis. I pay attention if I have triggers, and then I go back and I find the seeds of where I saw it, and I forgive that person, and the seeds of where I first did it. And while I find the seeds, I not just find them, but I talk about them in detail. What did I see? What did it look like? What did it feel like? And if I can see any energy transfer in that moment, I will pull it off my body. If anything was sent to me, I will, because a lot of times when we're getting yelled at when we're kids, or someone's scorning us or disciplining us, whatever it is, that energy's stingy on the body. So it hits the heart. So you clear the heart, you clear the tummy, and if you've got stings on your body, like kind of like wipe it off all your body and clear your head. And after you talk about that memory in great detail of what had happened, then you clear it, and then you say, I call my power back, my permission, and my spirit. And that will actually help clear your memory cells and your DNA of the trauma and the energy, emotional energy transfer put into you. So a lot of times our traumas are emotional energy put into us from other people. It's their crap. So get rid of it. It doesn't belong to you. Okay, my computer's going a little bit funky. So so that's the trigger maintenance. And the journaling is actually you can journal everything that's happened in your life. Basically, many courses, and I had talked about it, usually the first one is like the raw stuff. It's like all of the crap that you wanted to say to a person or you wanted to say to yourself. You write that, like the raw, it's really blunt, and before you write it, it's like you write on there whatever I say. I'm asking it for not, like you just write a paragraph on the top of each letter or journal that you write. Everything that I'm expressing or saying, I'm asking it to not to hurt or hit anyone. I'm just writing it to release it from my memory cells and my DNA and my spiritual body so that I can come to a place of healing. So this is the one where it's like raw emotion, blaming, denial, everything, labeling, just get it out. You need to get that raw energy out. And then you can write it again on where you tell it like it is without all of the negative emotion and like a fact base. You just want to write it like watching a television. And then, so it's important when you start writing, at the bottom of each story, you write, I let it go. And then you read it back to yourself and say, I let it go. That's the trick, is saying, I let it go, because that gives your mind, your body, your spirit, and your emotions permission to release the emotional energy, spiritual energy, DNA, and memory cell, any type of transfer that was put into you. And the self-clearing will remove any type of spiritual attachment or demonic attachment that has come into you, because that happens too. So it's important that you really, really take care of yourself and learn to clear your spiritual body. So there's journaling, trigger maintenance, and walk in the absolute truth. That one is like a whole day workshop. I have a write-up under my notes section on how to do it. So if you want to read it, I was really contemplating that, doing another live feed on doing your walk. So I think that's probably the next step, is doing that. I just have to take some notes and remember, because I live it. So it's like, okay, now I got to do a step process for everyone so that they have the simplicity of healing. And it's very, very easy. So the next one is cutting cords from negative people and negative people and exes. So it's important to disconnect from everyone you've seen, everyone you've talked to, even on the phone, even on the internet. That's why when I'm done videos, I always say, I love you guys, I disconnect. I send you all love and blessings. It's because everyone who's looking at me, our energies are connecting. And I make sure that that disconnection happens. So after a phone call, what you can do is just say, I disconnect from this person, whoever you're talking to, and you basically say, I disconnect. I'll just say, disconnect from my mom. I send her love and blessings. I disconnect. So it's really gentle. And then I send you love and blessings. And then you can ask for those cords to be blessed and purified. You can ask for like rose energy to go on it so that it doesn't leave it hanging and both ends heal. So it's important to make sure that it's done gently, because energy is like elastic. If you just like break it or rip it apart, it's going to have an elastic effect. You're going to hurt their spirit. So everything is really like with granny energy, really gentle. So when it comes to exes or a person that you were with, it's a very raw time. So what happens is, when you're in that process, your brain is actually going through a dopamine withdrawal, because you were used to having this person in your life, and then they're not in your life. So now it's a withdrawal state. So that's where depression can come in. So it's important to be aware of that. And if you are willing, you can go on to supplements. Like the ones that I had used was like vitamin D3, 5-HTP, omega-3s, vitamin K2, like anything that would help feed my brain. And it's important to keep on top of that and to wake your brain up. I'm going to write that down so we can quickly show you how to do that again. So when there's a breakup, what happens is everyone's garbage comes out in public. And you have a choice to expose them or heal yourself. And what I find is, a lot of times when people break up, there's one that's going to walk straight and the other one's going to go a little bit crazy. Or, you know, so it depends on where they're at, where their maturity level's at, their understanding is at, and the trick is not to feed into that. If they're gossiping, if they're lying, if they're exposing things that you've done in your relationship that's private, don't feed into that, because it's just showing you their mentality, their perception, their understanding, their immaturity, their beliefs, their feelings are hurt. And they don't know how to process their feelings. They're reacting on how they were taught by the adults in their childhood. They're recycling behaviors of their past. And a lot of times it's really important to make sure that you walk straight. The old way is, after you end a relationship, is you take a year off to grieve so that you can actually not bring any garbage or baggage from your past onto an innocent person in front of you. Because when you're bringing in garbage, you're bringing in immaturity, you're bringing in misconceptions, you're bringing in things, taking things personal when teachings are trying to be shared, or you're trying to get them to see your perspective. It's really, really hard to work with people that don't have a maturity level. They may understand, they may, because a lot of times you can be a 50-year-old and have a 10-year-old mindset based on the trauma that you've gone through. So when you do your healing, you actually grow yourself up and you mature yourself up, and your intelligence comes back, because trauma takes away at least, I believe, 16 to 27%, some number like that. Your brain capacities use goes down. So it's important to realize that a lot of people don't know that in trauma our brain capacity goes down, and in healing it brings our brain back. We get the rewiring, it gets clearer, our communication gets better, we're not throwing things back in people's faces. A lot of times when we're trying to bring things to an understanding, and you're bringing up an issue, it should be us versus the issue, not, and I saw that post the other day, it's like, that's right, the many horses that I've lived at, it was us versus the issue. We talked about it, we dismantled it, we talked about every type of human behavior that comes with that issue, so that we can understand, yes, I did that in my past, let's clear it out so that we can stay together and stay united and grow together and mature together. So some people don't have that based on how they were brought up, and it's not their fault. They don't know that they're in that state. They don't know that they're reacting from past trauma because they haven't worked on themselves yet. So it's really, really important to see the difference of where you're at and where they're at without judgment. And it doesn't make them, you or them, any less or more. So it's just understanding. Understanding your history, what your parents taught you, and understanding his history and what his parents taught him, and why you came together. And when you first come together with someone, it is for love. There is love there. It's just our trauma gets in the way, our past issues get in the way, our belief systems get in the way, there's a belief system crash, so all kinds of, or clash. So there's all kinds of reasons that come into effect that cause a relationship to separate. And if you're ever going to start healing, it is super, super, super important to let your spouse know, I want to start healing my life. I'm going to start researching. I'm going to look for help. Please support me, and state what the support is. Please be open to learning with me. Please don't put your beliefs on me. I'm just going to share stuff with you to expand our minds, or whatever you learn, print it off and give it to them. Always share what you learn. Don't just learn something and keep it to yourself. I used to print papers and leave it for the ex and say, here, read this. And if he didn't want it, I'd discuss it with him just so that he would know what I had learned to keep him up to date. So in a way, I was helping as much as I could, but in the end, it was his choice if he wanted to walk with me. And I had done everything in my power to make it work. And I've even negotiated and sat down, and I did all kinds of things. I got mad, I negotiated, I begged, I tried to use the vision of seeing it, and I did all kinds of stuff, but the bottom line was, it was his choice. And the accusations that come in those situations a lot of time are based on other people. So what happens is, when you're in a relationship and you have people on the outside telling you crap about them, you need to believe the person you're with, not the crap out there. And if you hear something, then you just need to ask them bluntly, or just ask them, because your gut will tell you if they're lying. their gut will tell you if they're not being honest with themselves. It's not lying to you, it's lying to themselves. So it's really, really important to not call them on, don't try to overcorrect them. Don't call them too much on their BS. Like, just what I had learned was you talk about your own stories. This is what I did in my past. These are the things that I used to do. And this is what I learned. This is how I corrected myself. So you're kind of telling them in your story, this is what you're doing without saying, you're lying. So there's always a way around it for them to see that you're not getting upset. And in telling your story that way, you're actually helping yourself heal. So there's all kinds of ways. So when you're down and you're going through a breakup, people will talk, people will add. It's like kick you when you're down. They'll tell you all kinds of stuff, and kind of like after the fact. And it's like, well, when it was important, you should have told me, not after the fact, because after the fact, it's too late. You're just adding to the garbage. You're adding to my stress. You're adding to the depression. You're adding through the immense pressure I'm going through with all of the crap of the people in the community or the people that we know are adding to it when it's really none of their business, because any type of breakup is between two people. That's it. And whatever energy that you're adding to them, if they have kids, it's hitting their kids. So now, if a person is not aware of energy and doesn't know how to get rid of it, the kids are going to suffer even more, go through depression with like the parents, because they too are going through withdrawals from the parent. So it's really important to make sure that you make it clear to your kids. I had to tell my kids like just a general really soft version of how we came together for love, and the reason why we broke up is because we outgrew each other. And when they got older, then I had explained to them, when they were able to comprehend the psychology and the belief system of why things like that happen with the energy interruption in the relationship. So anytime you're in a relationship with private, it's nobody's business. And if you need help, then reach out to people who have been in long-term relationships. Go to a marriage counselor or see a genuine healer or someone who's actually had a healthy relationship. If you were to go to a friend who doesn't have a healthy relationship, they're going to use their labels and put it on your spouse. And it's kind of like, I had done a poster about this about 2 weeks ago, and it's like you have your old man, you have the woman here, and he's got friends telling him, oh, she's controlling, she's manipulative. And then later on in the conversation, he's going to throw in her face, you're controlling, you're manipulative. And then she's going to hear stuff, oh, well, he's jealous and he's insecure. And then later on, it's going to come out of her mouth that you're jealous and insecure. People don't understand that the words go into people's subconscious, and they're going to throw it back out at some point or the other. And when it goes into the subconscious, if a person doesn't know to clear themselves or pull the energy after they've had a conversation, that energy is going to go into them and create a belief that's going to cause separation in a relationship. Good relationships have ended based on other people's bullshit that doesn't belong in something that's private and sacred. So you make sure, if you have an issue with your spouse, you talk to them. You don't talk to everyone else, because everyone else is going to add their crap into it and cause you to break up. Simple. So when you go through breakup, it's important to disconnect from their energy. So what I learned to do was you disconnect from all of the attachments, because there's the mind, the body, spirit, the emotion. There's the connection here, the heart, the stomach, the physical connection, and there's the Mother Earth connection, and there's a creator connection. So we have many connections when we're actually in a relationship. So these connections make two people whole. So your energy and your aura is one. And that's why men and women are able to tell when a person is flirting, cheating, or disconnecting to go do something sneaky, because you can feel it, because that one balloon rips apart, and it's actually quite painful if you're sensitive. And then they'll come home and try to say, oh, well, now look at you. They will avoid you. They won't talk to you. They'll change the subject. And then they'll be, oh, does she notice anything? And then if they don't notice, if they figure you don't know anything, they'll connect you again. So it's just understanding human behaviors. So it's really amazing. So when people infringe on that connection, they're causing it to separate. They're causing a sacred, very sacred connection to come apart. And so when you are completely done and you know you're done, your guides tell you you're done, they tell you to disconnect, then what you do is you state it, I disconnect mind, like spiritually, mind, through my communication, my heart, through my confidence, my solar plexus, through the sexual connection, through the root connection, and through the connection through Mother Earth. I disconnect from this person, and you say their name, and you just chop like top of your head all the way down and under your feet. And if you can, chop behind you, and then I ask that all the connections I am connected to this person with to be severed with extreme gentle guidance, to put a rose on each end so both ends can heal, and to keep our energy separate from this moment on. And then you ask to send them love and blessing. So after you cut, then you push your energy away really gently. And then what you state after that is, I call back my power, my permission, my spirit, my DNA, and my memory cells, and any gifts that I may have transferred over. And I give back their power, their permission, their spirit, their DNA, their memory cells, and any gifts that they may have given to me. And you just put like your finger and just do 2 circles and go, and you sweep it through. So this is going to pull yours back, and the sweep down is going to give theirs back. So it's gentle, okay? A lot of times it's you can also clear out their memory cells. You can pull the energy off. I have a self-clearing video. You can clear yourself with the intent to pull the rest of the energy out, or all of the energy out. And so it's really important to do that. I've actually used a knife, like a big knife, and I had a healer. I guided them through that, and that was my finalization, because anytime my physical safety, physical health, spiritual safety is put in danger, and my guides are telling me it's dangerous, then it's done. No ifs, ands, or buts. But that's where I get my guidance from. It's the other side. And after you're done, then the whole purpose is going back and admitting, where did I mess up? Where did I cause separation? Where did I gossip? Where did I lie? Where did I put him down? You know, where did I do all of these things? Where did I do throwbacks? And were my words misinterpreted? Maybe I didn't have clear communication. Maybe I came across too emotional. Some people can't handle emotional people. So it's really important to admit where you may have it. I wouldn't call it's not mistakes. It's a life experience. And yes, I did these life experiences. I admit it. I let it go. So it's really important to go back and forgive yourself. And if you have actually gone from a place of being mature and gifted and wise, and then you go back to being a silly 15-year-old, then you got to go back and look at a 15-year-old relationship, because that's what I had done. Because was for me to realize that I was getting sucked into a immature response, and that's where I have to correct myself. It's like, okay, thank you for that teaching, thank you for that lesson. I'm going to go back and look at my first relationship from the time I was 14 till 25, because I was reacting at that age. So, and it's like, I need to stop that. And once I went through all of that, I called back my power, my permission, my spirit, my intelligence, and maturity, and I told my spirit to grow up with me. So if I'm ever to encounter a situation again, I will not have that response, because I've cleared out the memory cells. That's the only reason why we have reactions and we go backwards sometimes, is because we're reacting to the memory cells in there. So, okay, so we did that, cutting cords. Oh, and to wake up your brain, especially after any type of trauma, using energy through your hands. So you can do this anytime. You can do it every day while you're going through a breakup. You can do it anytime you feel you're in a fear response. I do it when I do a self-clearing in the morning, and I do it when I go to bed at night to calm myself down, because sometimes my energy gets so high that I have to bring myself down so that I can actually relax. And like last night, it's like, brain, shut up already. And I was doing the Apple thing, and it took me about an hour to fall asleep. So my energy got jacked up, and it's like, okay, I need to get like a grounding sheets or grounding mat so I can bring my energy down to a place of calmness. So waking up the brain. So we can do this together, and if you do it with me, it'll be really cool, because then you'll get to feel it for your own, yourself, and to see that it works. So we can connect to Creator. So basically, you connect, you pull the energy from Creator, pull the energy from Mother Earth, and do it till you get like 3 flushes or 3 chills. And then open your hands and say, my mind, my body, my spirit, my emotions, my heart, and my whole being is open and ready to receive the gifts from the other side that I have picked up, or I have earned, or that my guides on the other side would like to gift me. So then you'll kind of feel your hands, and then once you feel that they're done, okay, and then you just pull it in and pull it into your heart and say, I love you to yourself. I love you, Barbara. So once that's done, now when you connect, now your hands are going to be activated. So now what we're going to do is place our hands on top of our head. And what you do is you talk to your brain, and you just say, brain, it's time to wake up. Wake up from survival mode to normal mode. You are safe now because you know what to do, or I know what to do. Okay, and then deep breath in, hold it, and breathe out. Okay, and that downloads the information into your memory cells. So let's breathe in. I love you in. I love you out. I love you in. I love you out. I love you in. I love you out. Okay, so once you get the chills down your back, and you feel that the energy is full in your brain, then you can do that. The next one we're going to do is right here is your emotional centers in the brain. So it's the same thing. It's okay, brain, it's time to take control of your emotions. I understand how they work now. Okay, I know how to remove them from other people. I know how to breathe through them, and I know how to admit. So I know what to do with my emotions now. So take a deep breath in, hold it, and breathe out. Breathe in, I love you. Breathe out, I love you. The love is for yourself. So breathe in, I love you. Breathe out, I love you. Breathe in and breathe out. So as soon as you get an energy shot or a chill, or you feel like your brain is like awake, then that's good. The next one we're going to do is like you measure from here, your chin to your nose, your chin to your third eye, and then your third eye to your hairline right there. So basically you put your left hand here and your right hand, so it's like a line going straight through, right? So this one is same thing. Breathe in, I love you. Breathe out, I love you. Breathe in, I love you. Breathe out. And if you feel dense or heavy, you can pull that energy off too. So breathe in, I love you. And breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay, so the last one we're going to do is to clear out the third eye. And yeah, you can clean your hands. Sometimes that's your psychic connection to the other side. So sometimes when it's overactive, you can do that to calm it down. The next one is third eye, straight across the back. Okay, same thing. This will actually open your third eye too. So breathe in, I love you. And breathe out. Breathe in. 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 And breathe out. Okay, once you get the energy shot or your brain feels full, that will wake up the brain, and help open up the pineal gland, which will help open up the third eye. Usually after I do that, I can see energy in the air. It's really cool. So you can see that the life force living energy. So that's waking up your brain. That's important to do every day if you're going through grief, if you're going through depression or any type of loss, because loss will trigger the brain into survival mode. And we need to keep our brain up. Okay, I'm moving the table, sorry. So now finding your purpose. Basically, if you go back and you remember when you were a kid, you always wanted to do something, like you dreamt of at one point being a nurse. Like for me, I remember it's like looking up to my aunt, it's like, oh, I want to be a nurse, or oh, I want to be a social worker. Those are the two things I wanted to do. And once I learned how long it took to be a doctor, I'm like, forget it, that's too long. So what I had done was, that was always on the back of my mind. It's like, okay, I've always wanted to help people. I always used people who I looked up to, and back then I had no clue what healers were. I knew of the stories and legends and stuff, but I really didn't know what healers were. I knew of our people who were gifted. I knew all kinds of different stuff that my mom had shared with me, but I didn't know that part until I was older. So when I had to explain to my kids the process of growing up, like between 17 and 25, when our brains started to mature. That's where we're at a place of like, who the heck am I and what am I going to do? And that's a place of where you have a general idea what you want to do. So finding your purpose, if you find that you like helping people, if you find that you take like pleasure or you have a good feeling of helping people, or you've always felt that you can do more in this world, or you always wanted to learn more, you always wanted to learn about ancient modalities or different healing techniques, then that's a sure sign that you're going to be a helper, healer, medicine person, shaman, energy worker, Reiki master, whatever it is. It's something to do with helping. And when you find that, what you learn on the journey is you have to heal yourself. You have to do lots of work, inner work, because we can have this amazing energy on the outside of us. We can easily build that up. We can connect to Mother Earth and Creator. We can have an amazing energy, amazing aura. But when you look at someone and you feel inside of them, and you can feel dense energy, that's their traumas in their body. That's the part that we have to clear out inside of ourselves, is that trauma that's stored in our body. And once that's cleared out, then this amazing energy on the outside gets amplified like by 1,000. It's really amazing. So, and it's important to really make sure that when you do find your purpose, it's like an inner knowing. You can close your eyes and say, okay, guys, what is it I'm supposed to do? And you'll find a lot of times it'll be helper, healer. You know, a lot of people are gifted and they're lawyers. A lot of people are gifted and they're nurses. A lot of people are gifted and they live on, you know, they have a family system on the streets, and there's all kinds of different ways of being gifted and a helper and yet having a 9-to-5 job. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to go and be a full-fledged healer, but as long as you use not like the knowledge, the wisdom, the tools, the solutions, the teachings, like as long as you use it in your daily life to help you function and be a better balanced person inside, then whatever you do is going to be at your best. It's going to be at the max. So it's important to do that. You can meditate on it. You can close your eyes and you can meditate with a purpose. So if I need a purpose, I'll just say, okay, guys, I'm going to meditate. Show me what I need. Show me what I need to know that's coming in the next month. Anything I need to be prepared for. Any visions I need. Any gifts that I need. What do I need to do to help myself? So close your eyes and then you get messages. It could be one question, but I ask a lot. So it's really up to you. So, and then you make sure that you're in a sacred space. You make sure that you train your mind to be quiet by using the apple trigger word. Like if you have thoughts come in, say apple. So all of these wonderful things. I shared that in the last video. So you can go back and watch that if you want to learn a quick technique and how to get yourself into that meditative space. So deciphering messages without the confusion from ego. A lot of times when people say, well, I got this message, it could be this, it could be that, it could be this, it could be that. It's like, okay, stop. Go back. When you first got that message, what was your gut feeling? What was the first image that you saw after that message? Because that's the one that you need to follow. Because once we get that message and we get that knowing and we see a flash of what it is or a flash of what we're supposed to be prepared for, it's when we start thinking about it, our ego interferes. So the trick is to go back to the first gut feeling, go back to the first image that flashed in your mind, or idea if you want to call it, and that is what it is. And the mind is a trickster, and if you really want to go more into it and to see what it really means, and you can work with your guides and you tell your brain, okay, brain, I need to go back to my heart. So you tell your brain, go back to your heart, and you can train it every day. And we'll do it right now. It's really simple. You just say, brain, it's time to go back to your heart. We're going to think from your heart, talk from your heart, live from your heart, and your whole being is going to be from your heart. And you can go back to your brain to use your intelligence and to talk, and it's just common sense that it's going to be used right. But you want to function from here where your voice is different, your energy is different. So hand here, brain, it's time to go back to your heart. So what you do is you take a deep breath in, and at the same time, just follow what I do. So breath in, breath out. 3 times. Brain, go to your heart. Breath in, breath out. Okay. Brain, go to your heart. Breath in, breath out. So it helps your brain function and think and feel from here, and the energy comes out from there. So that's the whole purpose of that. You can do it as much as you need to throughout the day, because there's times where I get into my head and yeah, it's fun. But you want to stay here. This is where you want to be all the time. And it's okay if you need to, if you run into a politician, you got to talk from the mind, it's okay to go there. But when you're done, make sure you go back down. If you're talking to people that don't understand spirituality, you can talk there and then you can go back down. But you always make sure you bring yourself back down into that place, because your heart is way more powerful than your brain is. So once you're in that space and you're in your heart, then you can go, now you can feel with your body. You can say, okay, now I want to sense and feel and see any images that that message was supposed to show me that I may have missed. And then you just close your eyes and go into meditation. It might flash really fast. You might have to go into meditation. You might not even get it right away. You might get it in dream time. You might be washing the dishes and all of a sudden it's like, now I know what it is. So it's when your mind is quieted enough and you're in your heart that you can decipher messages a lot more clearer. So stay in your heart. Okay. Okay, why don't guides intercept when bad things happen? Sometimes they do. A lot of times it will be gut feelings don't go. Sometimes it might be silly things like flat tire. It could be simple things like someone phoning and saying, I have a bad feeling, don't go. And sometimes if I'm going to travel and my gut says no, I'll wait till the next day. That is your guide saying, don't go. When we are in our minds and we're being selfish, that's when you get hurt. That's why it's really important to stay in your heart and go with the feeling in your gut, like your senses, right? So that you're always safe. Anytime I get invited to go out to do a workshop or a talk or to do work, I work with my guides. I don't, as soon as they ask me and my guides say it's safe, you can go, then I'm like, yeah, okay, when do you want me there? But if it's like, okay, let me check my schedule, because I have to feel it out. So a lot of times it's being respectful, because not everywhere is safe to go. So even on a holiday, if you're going to go on a holiday, you plan on going 2 weeks, it's better sometimes to wait an extra day if your guides or your gut feeling is saying not right now. So it's about safety. And everyone has their life path with their life experiences that our spirit has set out before we came into this physical body. This physical body does not have a choice of what our spirit chose on the other side. So I was thinking, oh my God, I must have been really hard on myself when I was on the other side. All the crap I went through in my life. So it's just like, well, you know what? The good thing about it is all the stuff that I've gone through in my life, I flipped it, and now I can use it as a part of teachings and psychology to help people so they know what to do. So it's just like, you got to not put yourself in that pity spot. That's a big no-no, because that's breaking your own spirit, not the oh, poor me. It's okay to cry to release when you have these things happen to you and you're trying to figure it out. Our spirit basically chooses the things that are going to happen in our life. Some people come in as disabled, and what happens is their life path chose that because their last lifetime, maybe they were a rich multimillionaire and now they needed a lesson to learn to be humble. So it could be anything. And I remember Andriana, when I was talking to her, she's like, I must have been Genghis Khan or something, or Kim. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. I must have been him. With the amount of people that he killed and all the people I helped in my lifetime, I must have had a karmic debt. So she joked around about it. So a lot of times we come back as helpers and healers because it's something that we chose on our path. We chose different things like death experiences, accidents, close calls, and things like that in order for us to gain knowledge, wisdom, tools, and solutions that we can share it with the other side. Now, the trick is not just to share it when you're gone and when your spirit goes to the other side. In our prayers and in our conversations with Creator and our guides, we need to tell them daily of the things that we've learned about ourselves, what we've learned about society, what we've learned about history, so that they know what to do to help our people here. And so when we start asking for things, and like when Many Horses and I did a lot of the notes on our Facebook, we actually prayed on them and asked our guides to take the knowledge and wisdom that we've gained in these writings we sent the energy and the teachings to the other side, because I read it out loud to him when we were done, and then we would add and I'd read it again. If it had a flow and it felt good, then we posted it. So it's a whole process to do a note. And so what we do is we pray on it and we offer the information to the other side so that they can send help down here to us, because a lot of times we feel like we're stranded. And it's not necessarily stranded. It's just, Many Horses had explained to me, when you're in the light, when you're balanced, when you start healing yourself, you make your internal light brighter, like whiter. It goes through a clearing, because now there's no blocks inside, and our guides can see us once we get lighter and lighter. He said, as soon as we get negative and have an emotional reaction, we go like black, we go gray, we go red in those negative low vibration energies, and our guides can hear us, but they can't see us. So he said the trick is to keep yourself balanced, to keep yourself healing, to do trigger maintenance, to always keep your energy in a high vibration so your guides can find you. So, and your guides can also see you. So it's really important. And yes, we're human. We're going to have emotional days. It doesn't mean that we deny what we're feeling. We deny what had happened in our past. We need to just go, admit it, clear it out. It's done. Don't dwell on it. Don't go, oh, poor me. Because when you do, oh, poor me, then you're pulling your little red wagon with you. And I remember Many Horses used to talk about pulling your little red wagon. And he's like, why pull your shit around when you can dismantle it and understand everything that happened to you so that you can turn around and start walking forward in life. So it's important to to do those things, to keep walking forward. So deciphering messages, got that. Guides to intercept, so it's just understanding it's on our life path. Sometimes that's not fair, and sometimes it's shitty, but it's a life experience so that we can help others at some point in our lives on what they can and can't do, what worked and what didn't work. So you switch it to psychology. So you switch it to giving the person the understanding and the behaviors, the cause, effect, reaction, and here are your choices. If you do it this way, this is going to happen. You do it that way, that's going to happen. It's your choice. Free will. So it's up to the person. And how do you find yourself? Well, you kidding me here? I'm just kidding. I just had to say it. So finding yourself is basically, it's who you are on the inside. It's knowing your own story. It's healing your path. And when you find yourself, it is basically, who am I? It's your foundation. It's what's your foundation is knowing who you are. I am love, I am light, I am energy, I am absolute truth. It's knowing that you're not labels. It is knowing, even though I'm a mother, sister, and aunt, I am inside as I am love, I am light, I am energy, I am gentle, I am kind, I'm respectful, I'm creative, I'm honorable, I'm loyal, I'm committed. Like, these are the things I have inside of me. So that's who I am. And a lot of times we get put up with these perceptions of opinions, feelings, beliefs, and so these things are thought processes that throw us off. So finding yourself is healing your past, because finding yourself is knowing who you are, knowing your story from your first memory until now, because the only way you're going to get to know yourself is if you master your life, if you tell your own story to yourself about everything that has happened to you in good and bad and bring it forward. Then that's finding yourself, because you know why you make the decisions that you make, you know why you think the way you think, you know why you learn the way you learn. All of these things is based on everything that has happened to us a long time ago. See, 0 to 7 molds us who we are today. And it molds us like in our reactions, our beliefs, our perceptions, our thoughts, our feelings, and stuff like that. So we can actually, once we realize what they are, we can change them. Once we know our story and once we know what happened to us, we can change our reactions to mature responses. We can change our beliefs. We don't have to, a lot of times what people say to us in a negative judgment or just a common everyday comment now becomes our belief when we get older. So it's important to know your story and change your core beliefs. So it's a part of finding yourself. And once you're there, then it's a lot easier, because when you know who you are, you know your worth, and you can catch yourself in situations a lot faster than walking into things blindly. And you know when things are safe and when to stay and when not to stay. So the next one is body affected without healing. So what happens to your body when it's not healed? I've seen amazing things with people when they've come and gotten help. They went on the table and left, or we did a stand-up clearing. They lost 5 to 10 years on their face because of all of the negative energy and the baggage that they're carrying that was transferred into them that's not theirs, and the negative life experiences that they chose and they were willing to admit in the session that we got to pull out, that they instantly, their aging process went back. And so it's actually the stress ages the body. The negative energy ages the body. The negative energy throws the mind off. The negative energy throws emotions off. It stunts our spiritual growth, and it affects us physically. Body aches, pain, stings. A lot of times people will get arthritis, diabetes, and different things because of the negative emotions attached in the organs that they're associated with. The stomach is self-confidence, the kidneys lots of fear and worry. Like the ovaries, when they feel stingy, that has to do with a lot of old insecurity and jealousy. And it doesn't mean that you're doing it now, it just means that you've experienced that emotion in your past, and you just have to admit it and then pull that energy out so it can leave. And these energies that are being triggered in the body, it's like a gray or it's like sometimes it'll look like a black energy, a gray energy. It'll look like a blue energy with black in it, like an orb. Sometimes you can see it moving around. Sometimes it'll actually have a face, or it'll have like a spiritual attachment to it. So what will happen is this negative energy that's in the spiritual body, when you close your eyes and you look at someone, you can see the darkness, the red, the lines or anything. Those are the things that need to be removed. And then love needs to be put back in. So a lot of times when it's removed, then healing can come into place. So with the targets inside the body, like the smudges, the dark spots and stuff, those are big target signs for like demonic energy, spiritual attachments to say, here, enter here, she's vulnerable here. You can manipulate her mind and suck all of her emotions out of her, because basically negative emotions feed them. And when you start healing yourself and you're in a low vibration, so your body's more dense, you're reacting to stress. Stress shuts your immune system down for up to 24 hours and sometimes days, depends on how much stress you have. The stings on your body is gossip, attacks, lies, assumption, judgments from other people, which adds to more stress to the body, which makes the body acidic, which makes it a perfect environment for sickness to come. So arthritis in the long run is a person that went through a lot of gossip and a lot of attacks and judgments from people in their community or their work environment or wherever they chose to be. So that's why it's really important to learn how to do self-clearings, to take garlic every day, to keep your health up, to take vitamins and minerals. Vitamins and minerals, especially minerals, are so important when you're working in any type of human emotion or working with human emotion. So that will keep your energy up, because when we're dealing with clients who are in an emotional state, it's like we're really high and we got to go down and bring them up with us. So we're depleting a lot of our minerals when we're dealing with emotional people. So it's important that we stay on supplements and eat healthy food and stay away from junk food and stuff like that, so that our energy stays high. It doesn't deplete, because sugar will deplete your minerals as well and your vitamin intake. So it's important to really monitor how much you're having a day and to stay on top of your health. So vitamins and minerals, self-clearing, healing your past, and admitting your feelings. Like even if right now, if you're feeling a little bit frustrated, then just say, you know what, I'm feeling frustrated, and I let it go. I choose to be calm. And if it's sitting here, pull it off. Pull off the frustration energy and put love back in. Breathe, I love you. So it's important to really, really take control of your emotions and keep yourself in balance. Connecting every day, grounding every day, clearing yourself, using all of the tools necessary, because it's important to keep yourself in that place of being in a high vibration, connected to Creator and the good spirits and in the light, so you can hear your guides and constantly earning. That just because you do it once doesn't mean it's going to work for a month. I do it 5, 6, 7, 8. I lose count. I mean, if I go and someone looks at me funny, I can tell when someone looks at my back, I pull the energy off. It's like, nope, not mine. And then I ask it to go to Mother Earth as gold energy, or to be blessed and purified to help her heal. So you always transform a negative energy into a positive energy by thinking it or praying beforehand or as you're doing it. So it's really important to take charge of the energy and your emotions and your mind by correcting it, and your spiritual growth by meditating and using all the basics to help yourself, okay? Stress management. Lavender oil is really good. I put it on my pillow before to help me sleep. Also, meditating is a good way. Grounding is a good way. Admitting your feelings. Check in with your feelings 5, 6, 7 times a day. How am I feeling right now? Well, I'm feeling pretty calm right now. Okay, I accept that. I'm good with that. Or if okay, I'm feeling a little bit frantic right now. Okay, let that go. Pull the energy off like chaos. Pull it out of your tummy, and then breathe. You say, I choose to be calm. Bring your head down to your heart. So you use every little trick in the book that helps you maintain that balance, that helps you maintain that stress. The stress hormones are released on top of the kidneys. They're little adrenal glands. And you can use stuff like this. It's Adrenal Sense. I hope you can see it. Ta-da! It's an adrenal gland formula which helps recover after mental and physical stress and exertion. So it can be used after exercise. It could be used, if you're working in a stressful environment. You just follow the instructions. And there's another one that I used here after many horses died. Sorry, transfer to the other side. Okay, stop cracking up. Oh God, this is barber proof. There, adrenal tonic. It is a tincture, and you just follow the instructions, and it helps settle the stress hormonal release on top of the kidneys and the adrenal glands so that you can better maintain your own stress levels. So it's important. And calming yourself, even when you go to the bathroom, I call it the throne, put my royal butt on it. I'm just kidding. But anyways, sitting on the can and breathing I love you while you're relaxing to go. You can use any moment throughout the day to help yourself be in a place of being calm. You want that calmness, that calm and peace feeling inside you. And it's really, really good. So even like a sea salt lamp, I have one back there. If I need to ground myself or I need to settle myself, I'll put my hands on it. But please help ground me. Please take off all negative energy off my body, and I'll just breathe I love you, and I'll feel the energy go down off my body. It'll either go through my feet or come out my hands, sometimes both. So, and I could feel stuff leaving me that's not mine, and then it's like, oh, thank you, sea salt, I love you. So I always show lots of appreciation to whatever I'm using because they have a spirit too. So the more appreciation, the more belief that you have, the stronger it gets. So all the tools that we share, it's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And it's important to practice daily, practice to the point where it's like brushing your teeth. You just naturally do it. And you learn not to take things personal. Just understand. It's understanding. You got to see through things, see through other people's eyes. It's kind of like if you're driving down the street and someone's like, oh, they're always wearing dark colors, they need to wear bright colors. It's like, well, look at their perspective. They may not be able to afford to buy a bright jacket or a new jacket. So it's looking at from their perspective. As much as you're trying to say we need you to be safe and wear a bright jacket, the intention of saying it is also very negative. So it's a matter of correcting yourself and understanding their perspective, understanding where they might be in their life. So it takes practice, and learn to do mindful meditation, kind of like go out and just watch and just breathe and just watch people. Because I used to go and it's like, oh, gut shot, and I would just take things personal. I'm like, I gotta go home. Now it's like I'm training myself to come to a place of just breathing and watching and learning. And if I get a gut shot, then that's my trigger. It has nothing to do with them. They didn't send me anything. It's my own stuff. So I have to go back and realize, what did they look like? What did they do? What was their human behavior in order for me to realize that it hit me in the gut? It could be triggered to, in my childhood, maybe that boy that was wearing the checkered shirt. In my childhood, this man's wearing a checkered shirt. I see a boy with a checkered shirt. He smacked me in the head when I was a kid. It could be as simple as that. So just take the smack off. I forgive the little boy, because kids only do what they see at home. And you take the energy off, so the next time you see a checkered shirt, it's not even going to touch you. So it's just finding the seeds of your own past, and it's your own stuff. So we have to start taking responsibility for the things that we've gone through, and coming to a place of I'm okay with myself. And so it's really, really important to do those things. It's important to change your core beliefs. It's like everything is about yourself and that inner knowing, that cleaning that inner, like that connection to creator, because it's like a tube that goes through, right? And a lot of cultures call it hollow bone, but it's actually a white light connection to creator and Mother Earth. And the more you clean that, the bigger it gets. Sometimes I'll see people pure white, and that's because their connection and their belief is like at the max. And I see some people that have a little tiny line and their belief is just starting. I see people that are here and their belief is getting stronger. So it's just varying, right? So, and then I can see around people like spinning little medallions or a cross. So that means that they're open to all belief systems, you know, and the faster it spins, the more they pray. The slower it spins, the less they pray. So you start reading symbols and energy around a person and reading what you're feeling on your body. When a person sits in front of me, I'll connect my energy with them just through the mind, the talking, and the heart, and just sense and feel, and then tell myself, what I sense and feel does not belong to me. I am gifted. Take a deep breath. It's kind of like the breath will push the energy away. So I'm not sensing and feeling other people. I'm not taking on their energy. I'm just sensing it. So it's like now I can sense what's going on in their body, and I can identify if I look at their kidneys are off, I see lots of fear. And I was like, show me the fear. And I'll look around them and I'll see their fear. So it's learning to read energy. Energy is really, really accurate. Working with your guides is accurate. The visions that you get are accurate. They get more accurate the more you heal yourself, because now you're not putting your own traumas and your own triggers of what flashes in your mind onto someone who is in front of you. So the more you heal, the more accurate your reading is. So a lot of times if I do ask for help and someone offers, like I'll do an exchange or a trade, and I hear stuff that doesn't fit me, my guides will say they're putting their trauma on you. I'll say, okay, I don't accept that one. So my guides will help me throughout a reading. Many times when I get a reading, a lot of them are freaking dead on it. It's like, cool, it's nice to see someone like me, or be in that presence. I'm not alone. And there's times when I'm having conversations on Facebook with people, and they're like me, and they're gifted right to the doodads, and I'm sitting there and I'm sharing stories and talking, and they have no idea I'm bawling my eyes out, because it's like, good, I'm not alone. So it's like a spiritual recognition. It's a respectful thing. So many times it's important. So for me, it was like a happy appreciation. It's like, okay, I'm kind of released. I'm happy that someone else is out there with me. And so it's being able to keep and maintain that and keep my energy high even through that process of releasing. Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah, we'll call it a night. Nature calls. Thank you for listening. It was lots of fun. I really, really enjoyed these. We'll do it again maybe tomorrow in a couple of days. We'll see how I feel. And if you have any questions, you can inbox me. Just don't overwhelm me. Just kidding. I get to them when I have time, so please don't be offended if I don't get to your messages right away. I eventually get to them. I do get lots of messages and do share information. Thank you for listening. I love you lots. I disconnect from you gently. I send you lots of loving blessings. Have a great evening. Bye.